Wherever you are in the world, you might look at your t-shirt and find out a tag showing, "Made in Bangladesh." Textile industry is one of the most significant contributors of the economy of Bangladesh. After its independence, the only industry that has continuously grown over the years and helped Bangladesh to grow within the global market is single-handedly the textile industry of the country. The principal source of foreign exchange earnings in Bangladesh is the export income from the ready-made textile and garments industry. A large number of luxury fashion brands from the UK, USA, and other parts of the world have significant suppliers from the garments of Bangladesh. In the early 2000s, textile manufacturing and exports accounted for 77% of the overall export income of Bangladesh. This shows the level of dominance the textile industry has over the lives of people in this developing economy. Currently, Bangladesh is the second largest exporter of ready-made garments. The country is only second to China in this sector. The largest buyer of ready-made garments products of Bangladesh is the United States with a quantity of 21.5%. And the countries of European Union combinedly accounts for the second position. As Bangladesh has a large population, the RMG sector of the country has provided significant number of employment opportunities to the Bangladeshi people. In the year 1972, World Bank estimated the GDP of Bangladesh to $6.29 billion while it grew by almost 60 times larger in 2021. In 2021, the country's GDP was $368 billion. Of the $368 billion, more than $35 billion was generated from the exports of ready-made garments. This shows how dominant the textile industry has become to the economy of Bangladesh. 95% of the clothing garments of Bangladesh are owned by local investors while foreign investors only own 5% of it. While ready-made garments industry has become such an important aspect of the Bangladeshi economy, there is a dark truth behind its success. The garments industry of Bangladesh is a prime example of labor exploitation. A question has been raised by human rights activists that a t-shirt that is used for charity fundraise can come from a Bangladeshi factory where the manufacturing workers themselves are low paid. Bangladesh is a small country with a vast population. And, due to the vast population, the country has suffered from unemployment since the beginning of its independence. While the population of Bangladesh is almost 200 million, a large number of men and women are unemployed within the region. Due to the lack of infrastructure for proper education and development, the socio-economic position of a large number of Bangladeshi people are very weak. As there is shortage of available work and a large number of people seek for jobs, the wage rate in Bangladesh is really low. And, the garments industry investors have taken advantage of this situation for years now. While garments in Bangladesh export a large segment of the European fashion brand clothing, the average wage of a worker in these garments are lower than the price of the t-shirts in some cases. Rather than properly using cheap labor, the industrialists of the country are exploiting their human rights by providing them really cheap salaries. The legal minimum wage of a garment worker in Bangladesh is only 8,000 Bangladeshi taka, which equals to around £73.85. While after strong protests, garments increase around 10 to 20% wages during the end of the 2020s. But according to the protesters, an average garments worker in Bangladesh at least needs 16,000 Bangladeshi taka for surviving in the country. The story doesn't end here. As the wages paid by the garments are very low and employees cannot meet their monthly expenditures with this rate of wages, they mostly work up to late nights to get some overtime. The garments industry is not just a symbol of wage exploitation, but also it shows the poor socio-economic condition of the woman in Bangladesh. Around 80% of the garments worker in the country are women who come from poor families. Though a large number of women are employed within the garments and it shows a sign for women empowerment in the country, it is a representation of the poor socio-economic structure of the country. No other industries in the region pay such low salary to their workers compared to the garments industry. As the workforce of the garments are mostly women, it is more challenging for them to protest for fulfilling their rights. The garments industry doesn't only exploit its workers based on wages, but also, it exploits the human rights of the workers in many ways. The safety measures in the garments are very low, where law enforcement agencies are also not much active. Fire safety in Bangladeshi garments is regulated by local law and order. But due to the lack of enough inspection facilities, garments do not focus much on the security of the work environment. There have been some major accidents that took away the lives of many garments workers in the country, and situations still didn't change much. Due to structural failure in 2013, a commercial building named Rana Plaza collapsed. 1134 people died in this tragedy, and it is regarded as one of the most tragic events in the history of Bangladesh. And one of the major reasons behind this collapse was the inclusion of heavy garments machineries within the building for garments manufacturing. And lack of inspection was the main reason why such heavy machineries were included within the facility without any testing. After the Rana Plaza tragedy, a large number of retailers and brands signed up to agreement on fire and building safety. But the tragedy already took the lives of 1134 people, and around 2,500 were injured. If measures were taken before the accident, such a disastrous event would not take place. One of the major reasons why the garments manufacturing industry in Bangladesh is such a mess is the poor structure of trade unions. The activities of increasing union members and leaders in Bangladesh has been slow, as industrialists and governments have always seen them as threats. Due to the poor representation of unions in Bangladesh, most garments inspection within the industry is carried out by inspectors hired by the company itself. And, in most cases, there is a high probability of getting a biased result. The current situation of the garments industry in Bangladesh has not changed yet. The cheaper prices of Bangladeshi garments are a significant indicator of the poor working conditions. The Bangladeshi government has to step up if it wants to bring the garment sector out of the darkness of human rights exploitation. Otherwise, the other side of the coin will always remain dark.